Okay, thank you for coming along. For those of you who have come to listen to me go on for about 40 minutes, I hope. The lecture I'm going to give, I started to write about a month or so ago and tried to bring in some elements of where data is going and how it's all fitting into the world of architecture. And I originally said, well, what will I call it? And where will the data take us seems to be quite apt, because at the moment we have virtually no idea. And then I started to think about it, and I started to look at other titles, and one that seemed apt to me was The Times They Are Changing, a poem of Bob Dylan. And I looked at it and I thought, yeah, that's probably right, because although the first one is a pun of Bob Dylan, the second one is, well, the original statement was really a question we should be asking about where all this data is taking us, because to be honest, I don't think many people understand. They're still trying to sort it out. Mees van der Rohe is an architect that I particularly quite like. I've studied him quite intensively over the years, and I've travelled through architects' practices all over the UK, and in Birmingham, and then across into Switzerland and France and wherever I've worked. And quite famously, he said, God is in the detail. Whether he actually started that phrase, I'm not too sure. But it's been landed in his lap. But I'm asking the question, should it be God is in the data? Because that is really what is happening. But first, a little history about myself. As you know, my name is Steve Scaysbrook. I'm a chartered architectural technologist by training. I was around in CIAT in one of the early days of MSAT. So SAT was formed in 1965-66, and I joined in 1969. I started life at an architect's practice called Ken Norton, and many people didn't particularly like him, which was probably underestimated. People are nice to him. But he was a good architect, and he taught me an awful lot in the years that I worked there. I was a young guy from school, and I was a junior in the office. And as a junior, I had to do everything. And I learned an awful lot with Ken. Not just him, but the staff in the office, who